Okay. Senator Ekweremadu, maybe I should get the question back again. So I was asking that what would you consider as the biggest problem of Nigerian election today?
I think the greatest problem is the implementation of the laws. We have sufficient laws regarding our election and election management. Going back to history, you will recall that the last major election we had before the Civil War was in 1964. And then thereafter, 2 years later, we had the coup, and then there was Civil War. So we didn't have democratic practice, and that means the electoral reforms, electoral practices were stopped for about 35 years until 1999. The implication is that a lot happened. You know, just like if you park your car for 35 years and want to start the car, obviously you're going to have a lot of problems. And so in 1999, we had an election that was, of course, not very perfect because of the time lag we've had between 1964 and 1979. And thereafter, we also had disrupted elections and democratic practices up to 1999 when all this started. And so even after 1999, you will recall too that it took nearly about 11 years, up to 2010, where we had the first major electoral reforms, both in the Constitution and Electoral Act, for which I also superintended. So in that year, we laid a proper foundation, making sure that both INEC, the judiciary, and the National Assembly, which are the major institutions of democracy, got their independence. And so they had the first line charge to the revenue, to the Consolidated Revenue Fund. And thereafter, we built upon it. You know, so we've made some of amendments since then, including limiting the time frame within which election matters must be conducted. When the pre-election matters also have to be concluded. We also dealt with the issue of making sure that those who have political interests do not become members of the INEC. We also amended the Constitution to give INEC administrative independence. We also made sure that parties who do not measure certain, get to certain measures in elections at the register, because so that we don't overcloud the electoral process. So many amendments took place, including the issue of the electronic voting. Section 52 of the Electoral Act of 2010 forbids the use of electronic means. So, but years later, I think about 4 years later, just shortly before the 2015 election, we amended that section 52.2 to say that INEC can now use electronic means to conduct elections. Now, because of so many other issues, I'm sure the chairman will know better, they have not been able to apply that section 52 to use electronic means to conduct elections. And of course, the soldiers and the police people who help in conducting the elections, their conduct has been less than satisfactory. And then, of course, they have their own ad hoc staff. You know, sometimes they run into some problems. So I think the major issue is that of management of the process itself. You know, but as I said, remember that I've had a lot of issues in electoral management because of the military intervention. So I believe we are making progress. We've made a lot of progress. So as I said, if you park a car for 35 years and you fix the car, obviously you will never know that the wiper is not working until you drive at night. And then maybe the headlamp is not working until you drive at night. So when you discover it, you fix it. And that's exactly what I've been doing in National Assembly since 2010, fixing all those areas we discover. And now let me say that I must commend the National Assembly for their efforts in electoral reform in Nigeria. I'm not aware that the government, the executive, have ever sent any executive bill regarding the amendment or a new electoral act since 2013 now. So most of the efforts you are hearing are National Assembly members, the individual member bills, you know. And for the first time in 2019, the INEC, ahead of the public hearing, sent a comprehensive suggestions on how we can approach the amendment to the Electoral Act. And this time, what we intend to do is essentially to repeal all those Electoral Act and amendment thereto, and be able to have a comprehensive new Electoral Act that you can make reference to. So, and we are working with the Independent National Electoral Commission to deal with this. We met with them in Lagos, I believe, in February or March, and then we'll be able to try as much as possible to reconcile our views. So the next thing we'll do now is to have a public hearing so that the civil society and the members of the public were able to make their input before we take it back to the National Assembly and then begin to the process of enacting it into law.